Thank you, Mr. Castleberry. Just a couple of quick updates. The first, as I customarily talk about, is the sales tax update. And just as in our own personal lives, we set New Year's resolutions. I'm hopeful that everyone here set a new fiscal year resolution this year, and it looks like we're beginning to maybe see a little bit of a turn. Was encouraged today to see the state treasurer has been making some comments about, at least from his perspective, the economy is beginning to turn positively. And so just this week, we did receive our general purpose sales tax receipt for the month of July. And of course, this reflects collections during the month of May. And you can see here we have a small increase, about 1.5% above July of 16 in terms of our collections. And so this obviously doesn't make a trend, but when you look at those, look at all that red on that chart, and Mr. Francisco, and I asked him to do some research for me going back over the last 40 years of general sales tax collections in our community. And when you look at the last of that red in that chart, that was the steepest one-year decline in sales tax we've ever experienced in the last 40 years. And so it puts that a little bit into perspective, and you can see the green is really welcome. Next, I want to talk a little bit about some of the Norman Forward projects, and there's a lot moving there in terms of some of our outdoor venues, the Griffin Park Sports Complex, the Reeves Sports Complex, and the Westwood Tennis Center. The one that will be coming to the City Council in the very near future will be on August the 1st, will be the final master plan for the Griffin Park Sports Complex. We've had an ad hoc citizens group that's been working very hard. We have a number of engineers, landscape architects, and others putting together the master plan for that new facility, which is going to include an expansion of our outdoor soccer facilities, looking at new lighting, irrigation systems, some much needed transportation improvements adjacent to the park. And so we'll be presenting that to the council on August the 1st. Just a few months kind of pacing behind that is the Reeves Park Sports Complex. We'll be presenting those recommendations to the Citizen Ad Hoc Committee later this month. And then finally, just at a recent council meeting, the council approved hiring the architects courts and created an indoor tennis complex, and so that work is well underway with the site survey and soil testing, and the construction drawings will be finished. Next, just a couple of images I thought were kind of interesting this week. On the top left there, you can see some of the new slide structured at the Westwood Family Aquatic Center, and to the top right is the part of the new lazy river. Is the same in terms of on the bottom left as well, some of the aquatic features. And then at the bottom right there is the new bathhouse concession stand facilities at Westwood. And so I thought those would be interesting and wanted to share with everyone. And then finally, just a little bit, we are in the summer, and we're all feeling the effect of what's going on, because of the weather. June has been recorded as the second driest June recorded in Oklahoma, but we are well positioned. Lake Thunderbird is about 98% full. We are in stage 1 of our conservation plan, which is the odd-even water rotation system that we have in the community. And of course, that's based upon your street address. That is a year-round water rotation program. Sometimes people forget that this program, as it says today, does allow people to use soaker hoses anytime that they want to, and they can use a handheld hose that has a positive shutoff nozzle, and that's allowed anytime. But otherwise, we strongly encourage people to be watering on the odd-even water rotation system. Of course, private owners of private water wells that are used for irrigation purposes are exempt. And then finally, I would just mention that we did adopt a few years ago our summer conservation rate, which adds an additional 35 cents per 1,000 gallons for each 1,000 gallons that's above 20,000 gallons for each month in July and August. And so that summer conservation charge is in effect, and just wanted to remind everyone about that. And then here you can see the recent the drought map, and of course things like that are tough on the water systems, but I know the fire chief is thinking about that and worrying about that every day, and I appreciate the efforts in terms of their preparation during this drought period as well. So thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.